gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any materials produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present Girls vs. Ghosts Media's The Dr. Gina Show with Gina Marie. Gina is a psychic medium and an intuitive counselor who has a bachelor's degree in psychology, master's degree in counseling, and a doctorate degree in occupational therapy. The Dr. Gina Show is live on Spreaker every other Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific, right here on Paranormal Buzz Radio. Be sure to follow Gina on all her social media. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Gina Marie.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Gina Show. I am now on Paranormal Buzz Radio, as you know, so I am still going to give you the same content that you got when I was on Blog Talk Radio. I just now am being produced by Shay on Paranormal Buzz Radio. And if Charlotte's listening and Heather, I want to shout out to them from Girls vs. Ghosts who got me started, moved me over here to Paranormal Buzz Radio where I'm super excited to be. So tonight's my first show since April. So if I'm a little rusty, excuse that. So I'm going to try my best to get used to this. It's a new platform and all that stuff. So I'm excited to be back. And tonight, my topic that I'm going to talk about is psychics and mediums. So for all my listeners who used to listen to me before that may be listening tonight, hello, I'm so glad to be back. I'm just going to give you a little explanation about this show versus my other show when I was on Girls vs. Ghosts. It's going to be the same thing. I'm still going to channel the council. I'm still going to give universal messages. I am still going to give you a look into my life. I'm still doing all the segments I used to. The only difference is, if you notice on the link, there will be a chat, which I did not have on Girls vs. Ghosts. So this is a chat where you can actually type in questions. And when I used to come on and speak and answer, like personal questions, people used to call in. Well, we don't have call-ins here, but you can use the chat to type. Now, the difference is I did used to answer personal questions. I would give insight. I, being a medium, and I talk to spirit, as you all know, I am also a psychic, and we'll go into that. But I go by voice, and voice gives energy to spirit, and I always ask permission. So I won't be able to give specific answers to questions like that, related personally questions like that anymore. However, on the chat, I will still answer questions related to things that are about my topic that I'm talking about, or anything sort of related in that area. I just won't be able to address, like, am I getting married next week or anything like that, because I do need some type of energy. Again, being a medium, working through spirit, I need to hear the voice. I need to contact through that way. So I will not be answering that way. But it's going to be still a lot of fun because we're going to talk about a lot of cool topics. I'm still channeling, and we're going to talk to the council still. And I'm going to give you a universal message like always. So let me just catch up, and you know how I want to shout out to everybody Thank you, everyone, for listening. I so much appreciate it. And again, if you do not catch this live version, you always have a pre-recorded version on the link that you can listen to, and that's on our social media that you can always find. I also want to let you know that I am doing some really cool events coming up. You can find that on my Instagram. One that I totally am excited about is July 20th. I'm doing an investigation at Louise Psychiatric Hospital with Detroit Paranormal, part of Weird Weekends, and I'm super excited about that. Okay, so let me give you a little look into my life. This is that segment where it's like, what's it like to be me? What's it like to be a medium? What's it like to be a psychic? And of course, I'm human, and I'm here like everyone else on our journey of the soul, which I talk about all the time. This is just us. We're in this body. We came here to learn our lessons. Souls are on all different levels here, where some souls are much more elevated than other souls. Some souls are what I like to call filler souls. They're here just to play a part. It's kind of like, forget what those actors are called, backups or something, whatever those actors are called that are in there that don't have a talking part. But anyway, that's kind of just like a filler soul. And there's also soul contracts. If you listen to any of my shows, we talk about we're here to interact with other souls. But the main reason that we come here is because we want to elevate our soul to a higher level. We come here to this big school to learn these lessons in a different time frame to really experience what it's like. But we are just like 80-something% water. We're just energy. So we vibrate with the energy, just like when we're born and we have our big book, like I talk about the Akashic Records, we sign up for, when we want to be born. Like I'm a Leo, so I chose to be born under the Leo star because I do want to vibrate with that type of energy. And that's why there is some truth to the astrology, because we do pick when we want to be born, because we're just energy. And just like the tides and the water and the moon, we vibrate with that. And the numerology, that's why there's a lot of truth with the numerology. I pick my birthday, August 11th. I pick when I want to be born because of those numbers and the way they play out. So there is some truth to the numerology and astrology part of it. And we all know, if we know me, I don't hold true to all of I don't buy into 100% of everything all the time. Hey, I don't even buy into the medium thing all the time. I always need to ask spirit for validation, and then I still question it. I'm like, oh, did I know that? They get that. I am really tough on myself and spirit when I channel. I'm probably one of the biggest skeptic critics there is, even though this is what I do. And I get super oh my God, happy and validated, and I really need a lot of validation because of this. And yes, there's a lot of people that are out there, again, that say they're a psychic or they're a medium, but in actuality, they're not. And we, here in New York City, we have them on every corner. And it's sad, but there's pop-up shops, the corner psychic, or they call them gypsies and, whatever. I'm definitely a gypsy in my past life, so gypsies are cool to me, but there is an element of these little stores here that unfortunately have given psychics and mediums a bad rap, because you walk into this store and you're all innocent and you want to have a reading. And this is the biggest turnoff for me ever, is when someone says, oh, well, you have all this negative energy on you, and you need to have this little rock that I got off the street for $5,000 and carry this rock around, and I'm going to pray for it in my church. Okay. Now. Well, I do believe in that negative energy thing. I do buy into, again, I don't buy into 100% of anything. I always look for the other end. But yes, there is truth to negative energy. I'm not going to get into that in major detail right now, but if you are vibrating low on the emotional scale, again, which I love the emotional scale. Look up the emotional scale, because one thing that you really need to know is that here we are, all this energy in this human body. We are energy, and that's why a lot of spirits can make things happen through electronics because it's energy. You know, they turn lights on. They do certain things to electronics. So being that we are energy here, we're made up of all this vibration. So the emotional scale, and the emotional scale, some of the lower end of the emotional scale is like shame, fear, and guilt. So when you're riding low on that emotional scale and shame, fear, and guilt, you are attracting that negative shit. And I've been there for sure, and I've talked about it. I have attracted that. So yes, I do believe some of the psychics when they're negative energy. And actually, recently, I haven't talked to you guys in like 3 months. We all know that I call regular Gina, even though I am a psychic, I am a medium, I have a doctorate degree, and I have a master's degree in counseling, so I am also a counselor, and I combined all that with my readings when I do them. However, I'm still regular Gina. I'm over here screwing shit up, learning my lessons, hashtag passing my test, and hashtag failing my test. And for the last couple months, last 3 months, I guess I haven't talked to you guys since April, there's been some crazy changes in my life, crazy changes like usual because I am on this journey. And as we all talked about before, I have been working in early intervention, working with kids from birth to 3 in New York City. And it's been a part of my life since I graduated occupational therapy school in 2006. So I've been doing that for 13 years here in New York City. I was a supervisor in Manhattan. I ran the Upper East Side, and I had an amazing experience. But that all came to an end last week for unseen causes, the way the universe moved things, and it was devastating a little bit. But it's what the universe did to me 4 years ago when I lost my job in the New York City Department of Education. Like, I was senior supervisor there for 8 years, and, you know, things happen again. They move it around, and here the universe says to me again, like, here are 13 years. It's time to end this career, and if you're not going to end it, we're going to end it for you. So anyway, I had to close a chapter to that. So I, again, will be throwing myself into Dr. Gina and doing a lot more events, doing a lot more readings. And, you know, again, like I had spoke about before, I've been in the psychic closet for a long time. I did not want anyone to know I was a psychic medium. You know, backlash for being a weirdo, backlash for being a shyster, all that things that go along with psychic/medium, people not understanding it and all that stuff. And it wasn't until Girls versus Ghosts, which I started last October. I wanted to start a Halloween, super cool time to start. So it's almost been a year since I've been doing the radio shows and came out of the psychic closet and started my Instagram and just started telling people about it. And at this point, I tell people, I don't go around and tell everyone, hey, I'm a psychic medium, but I don't deny it. And, you know, I'm proud of it. That's what I do. Like, I talk to dead people. And as a psychic, I look at energy and I read energy. As a medium, I talk to spirit. I channel the council, which is a universal energy. I talk to, you know, dead relatives, ancestors, angels, anybody on the other side. And that's as a medium. And I tell people about it now. It doesn't matter. And yes, I still have a doctorate degree in rehabilitation medicine, which is occupational therapy. I still have my master's degree in counseling. So when I do give sessions, I do still combine all of it, but all through everything, even if I'm in a psychic channel and I'm looking at your energy, even if I'm using my counseling book skills, I am still a medium and I'm still in touch with spirit. Before anyone has a session with me, they always know I do a protection spell because I've had some negative energy, some bad spirits. So I'm very careful to do that because I go on the other side. And since I was a kid, and anyone that's been listening to my shows or listened to any of my past shows knows that, you know, since I remember, I've been seeing dead people. Like my earliest back memories, 2.5, 3, whenever you can actually remember, it was just like that movie, which I still haven't seen anymore, something where I think it was Macaulay Culkin sees dead people. I still haven't seen that movie yet, but I have to see it. But it's just like that. Like I seen dead people clearly all over my bedroom as soon as it became nighttime. And I would just cry, and I would make my uncle sleep with me and hug me, or if I was with my grandma, whoever's house I was at, had a crazy life, so wherever I was sleeping, I always had to have, you know, family member not only sleep with me, completely hug me and hold me, because these dead people were everywhere trying to talk to me and the way they died. So for a child, it was like I thought they were just a bunch of monsters, and it was very devastating up until probably I was 8 or 9 when the dead people started going away and they just became kind of like energy and ghosts. And again, that happened until I was 20 when I learned how to shut them off. And now it's just like, I call it a house of mirrors. And some spirits do bug me if I'm not in the channel. They are strong enough to get through. But most of the time, like, I can just walk around and be regular Gina, not a psychic, not a medium, not a counselor, just regular Gina, living life, fucking shit up, having relationships that fuck up, fucking up jobs, fucking up friendships, doing fucked up shit. That's who I am usually. But when I do go into a reading, I almost like I walk into a house of mirrors. That's it. I say my protection. I go right onto the other side. It's just like I open the door, and then the spirit, whoever wants to talk to me, they're there. They're waiting for me, and I find spirits all over the place on that other side. They're not just in one place. They're here, they're there. I got to reach for them. I pull them from this way. They hide from me over there. Something's around the corner. They're in all different places. Sorry, I'm just getting over like 2 weeks of no voice, terrible sickness because I was riding some negative energy. So if my voice is a little off, that negative energy shit's true. Like, I'm telling you, these people, even though I'm very strong, it's very hard to put some negative energy on me. Very difficult. However, someone was able to throw some negative shit my way, and I definitely absorbed it, and I've been living it. I've been sick and dealing with a lot of shit, but I went and I am still Catholic too, by the way, even though I'm a psychic and I'm a medium. I have, this Catholic religion to me, not that I did when I was a child, but I did it as I got older. So I still have this part of me that believes in praying, lighting my candles, and I did that to get rid of this energy. And I went and I did a lot of praying, a lot of energy releasing, and I was able to release that and get rid of everything that was bugging me. But again, being a medium, the difference, let me just explain my different version of psychic medium. Whatever someone else says, that's their opinion. I'm just going to tell you what I hear from spirit and what I take it to be the difference. As all mediums, I believe, are psychics, but I do not believe all psychics to be mediums. Again, this is just my opinion. Someone else might have their own. Not saying mine's right. I'm just saying this is my version. So, as a psychic, I read energy. So, and I used to be able to do this all the time. It was like crazy. Like I never knew how to shut it off. So as a psychic, I would just be like into like, I read energy. So somebody would be near me, in front of me. It's kind of just like I read their mind. I knew exactly what they were thinking. And as a teenager, my friends will tell you, like, I'd just be around someone. I'm like, listen, we got to go. Like, and I knew what they were thinking, what they were saying, because I really didn't know how to turn it off. So it was kind of just like, I heard everything they said, and I can still do that if I want, but I just don't. I shut it off. I don't want to live that way because it was difficult. I always knew. In high school, everyone thought I was just like, I knew everything or smart, but in reality was I knew what they were thinking. And again, I still can. It's just I don't live that way anymore. So as a psychic, that's what it is for me. I just read their energy. Like I know who someone's made up of. I know what they do. I know what they're vibing with. So also as a psychic, when someone asks me a question, and I'm in a psychic channel, not mediumship, I'm talking about psychic, I look at the energy. And to me, when I open up to look at the psychic energy, it's like I look at the person and I see them as energy waves. And the energy is like lightning. So that lightning, I jump on their lightning and I ride that energy. So I read everything that crosses their energy wave in their path and anything that comes across their energy. And that could be, anyone that they're dealing with, situations, anything. And I see who is crossed in their lightning. And just like lightning, energy, it goes off in different directions. So if I'm reading one thing about relationship, I'm riding that energy and anyone that crosses it. If I'm reading something about, their house or something, I ride that energy wave. Depending on what energy it is I'm riding is the wave that I ride. It goes in either way. And so as a psychic, that's how I perceive it to be. when I do a psychic reading or someone asks me a psychic question, I'm looking at the energy wave, and to me, again, it's like a bolt of electricity that I read and I ride. And people will say to me, and I remember this was kind of frustrating to me before, I always wanted to know how things were going to end. How's it going to be? How's it going to end? As a psychic, again, I'm just talking about a psychic. That energy changes. So I could clearly see in someone's energy, holy shit, like you are totally, I need a sip of water, sorry. You're totally vibing with this guy or girl, like your energy is like, this is amazing, everything's good. Because I'm reading that energy. And again, that energy is anything that crosses it and comes into play. People could call this free will or whatever. But again, I call it energy. And this goes back to the emotional scale for me. That emotional scale, where are you riding? Where are you vibing on that emotional scale? Because I vibe so low in that freaking emotional scale of fear, shame, and guilt. Like whether I was in a relationship that made me shameful, fearful, guilty, whatever, I rode low on that emotional scale. I've been there. And what did I do? I attract a lot of things that rode low on that energy. So that's what it is when I'm actually riding that emotional scale with energy. And as a psychic, that's why things change, because you vibe different. Maybe you're riding high on that energy scale. You're riding like in happiness and, some of the higher vibrations, and then you're vibing with that energy scale. So that's why things change, and a psychic can tell you how something's chilling with you now, but it's not going to happen because your energy changes. Now, that's different for a medium. Now, it's very few people, at least that I've met, that are true mediums. A lot of people I see advertise themselves as psychic medium, and I've worked at a store here in New York for a long time, and I do a lot of interviewing. I actually taught school for psychics and mediums, and I, was one of the people that evaluated them to see if they were ready to be in the public. So I see people that were saying I was a medium, but that's kind of a tough thing, because if you're a medium, and I'm a true medium, you talk to dead people. Like I clearly, if I don't hear their name, I usually get an initial. They do talk fast. I get some validation about who I'm talking to. I get like, it's an energy, an initial L. I get something always that gives me that little energy vibe that tells me exactly, who they are, because I need to have that validation. I need to know who I'm talking to. I need to see, like, yes, you're talking to someone, her initials L, she's an Ann, she died of congestive heart failure. They tell me things like this because I ask them, and they tell me, because I need to first know, like, validation. I need to know who I'm talking to. I need to know, how this goes. And if I'm doing a gallery reading and there's like, 30, 40, 50, how many people in the room, and I'm hearing, I'm picking up Alana, and Alana is someone's aunt, and she died of congestive heart failure, and 3 people are raising their hand. They each have that. They just keep going and making the detail different. Now, that's what a medium does. They talk to spirit. So also as a medium, and when I do my readings as a medium, I also talk to spirit guides, angels, ancestors, neighbors, like whoever comes in. So I channel the council. I call them the council, and what the council is, it's a universal energy, kind of like the CEOs, I call them, of heaven, and they handle your Akashic records, which is your soul journey, everything in your big book that you decided to come here, your soul contract. So when I'm doing a reading and I'm talking to the council, the council doesn't tell me everything that's on the journey. So I could be reading someone, and I'm guiding them, and I'm giving them, like, they're asking me questions like, am I going to marry so-and-so, whatever. And the council knows that if they tell me, that's going to mess up their journey, their free will. They won't tell me yes or no. My clients will know. Sometimes I don't know, but sometimes clearly I'll say, hey, yeah, because it's okay for me to tell them. I never know, but the council, when I do channel them and I ask, they're never going to mess up a journey when there's free will involved. They will guide my client and give them the information they need to, make their right decisions, because they are guides. They want to help that person. They are a help, but they're not going to tell you everything. So sometimes I can clearly see what's going to happen, but sometimes I can't. I never really know what they're going to show me, and it's always based on the journey of the soul, what they want to show me as a medium, what they want to say. Now, also, if you ever heard me on Girls versus Ghosts or had a reading with me, I also channel different spirits. So besides like your ancestors, your uncles, your aunts, the council, I channel Bruce. We call him Bruce with the juice. And he just started coming to me about a year ago. And he just came in and I just started coughing. Like, I couldn't stop coughing. Like this, I guess, because he's making his appearance. So he likes to make me cough. Here he is. Hi, Bruce. And we call him Bruce with the juice. And he is a spirit, actually, that I counsel. And he actually used to be a psychologist himself. So in this world, so he likes to come in and talk about relationships. So when I'm usually dealing, he likes women. He likes actually two of my clients a lot, Anna Maria, and he first came in for this, one of my clients, Mary Jane, and he passed away young in his 60s, and both of these women are, in their 50s, so he kind of has this attachment to them. When they first started coming in, he started coming in to channel for them, and now anytime I have a woman and they have some relationship advice, he barges in making me cough, and everyone's like, here's Bruce with the juice, because again, that was his past life. That's what he did. So I do channel him. I also channel another spirit. Her name is Anna, actually Anna Maria, and she's an Italian woman. And for some reason, she started coming through to me, and I channel her. And what makes, Bruce the expert, I said, because that's what he did, counseling in his life. So relationship counseling, and that's why he has come to me and found me. Now, Anna Marie, what did she do? Well, I'm Italian, and she found me because she's an Italian woman, and she was like ahead of her time. She's in probably the 30s, 40s, and she just started coming, and she comes in once in a while, and she talks to me too. So there are just a couple of spirits that we all know here that come through and talk, and everyone knows Bruce and Anna Marie. She comes in once in a while. So again, as a medium, now Bruce is here to talk to us. Those are some of the spirits that I channel, and you never know who else comes in again to talk, or they tell me who they are. And sometimes I have angels. I channel archangels, especially Gabrielle. I channel Ariel and Gabrielle a lot. Both of those angels I channel, and they come through and they talk to me. I don't know why Archangel Gabrielle and Archangel Ariel has chosen to come. They come not that often, but I am also able to channel them as a medium. So that's just some of the things I do, and that's the difference between a psychic and a medium. And again, there are a lot of people that say they are a medium, and I don't know what their definition of medium is. And again, their definition might be different, and everyone's definition, I'm just saying what my definition is how I explained it, and what my definition of psychic could be different. It's just what I hear from my guides, and that's what I believe it to be. And hey, I'm open to hear anyone else's opinion, and if anyone has an opinion on this, feel free to put this in the chat, because I'm open to explore other things. I'm talk to counsel about it and get their opinions about it, which is super funny, because one of my really good friends, Rosanna, I'll be like, wow, I wish I had somebody that could channel the counsel for me. I wish I had, someone who does what I do. I really want that. And finally I said, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. So I would give Rosanna questions to ask me so I could go and channel to answer myself for me and record it. So I would say, this is what I want you to ask me. And so I could get my own questions answered. And that's how I'm able to do it, because my regular Gina mind will get in the way if I'm trying to do it for me. Like regular Gina, there's just no possible way. I was able to do that. And again, I am just like all my clients, if not worse. Some of my clients are so amazing, and they're passing their tests, and they're learning through some of my clients I talk to twice a week. Sometimes some of them I talk to once a week. Some of them I even talk to 3 or 4 times. Just again, I do have a master's in counseling, but I use a lot of spirit, and I just help them, and I watch what they do. And I'm over here 4 years, #failing my test, and they're super soaring high, doing amazing, and I'm so proud of them. So it's nice for me to be able to go through my friend Rosanna. And then also, like, sometimes if I'm in a reading, I'll be talking to a client, and if you know my readings in a channel, although I don't go into complete trance, I get into a zone. So sometimes I'll be saying, does anyone know a Carol? Do you know a Carol? And my client is like, I don't know Carol. I'm like, yeah, Carol. She used to be a hairdresser. She's saying mother. And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, my God, shit. Like, that's my mother coming through. So that happens once in a great while, because even before I do a reading, I ask for only spirits that are here for my client to come through. But that doesn't always happen, because I have spirit jumpers, I call them, and like your neighbor's friends still trying to jump in. And I'm like, does anyone know a Frank? And they're like, no. But here Frank is for like someone else, but they're trying to jump in because they see that I'm on the other side. But sometimes once in a while I'll be like, that was my mom, or my grandmom will say like, oh, it's Margaret. And then I'm like, oh my God, that's from me. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. Like, my grandma's trying to talk to me right now. And some of my clients are like, go ahead, let her give you the message. And I'm just like, okay. And then that's it. I take the message and leave. And they don't always do it, but my mother and my grandmother have been known to jump in a few readings every now and then when they really want to talk to me. And I am in that channel because, like I said, I lived in the channel before, and I didn't know how to shut it off. I didn't know how to stop the dead people from talking to me, stop me from hearing every single thing that people thought. I just was half nuts for half of my life until I was, early 1920. I was just hearing people's thoughts all the time and seeing dead people, and just like, holy shit, it was overwhelming. And half the reason I'm nuts, that's not why. It's because of other reasons. But anyway, it took a while to stay out of that channel, and I don't always go into it because it sucks hearing what people think, especially when they're talking shit about you or something, or thinking messed up shit, and then I have to play mind games with these people and play games. And, occasionally sometimes I can't help it. I do hear what they're thinking or saying, and, oh, God, I hate that. But it happens sometimes, and there is spirits sometimes that comes through at night and wakes me up, and it's mostly like spirits of friends or someone that I've done a reading for, and they'll kind of just wake me up. And there's been a lot of crazy, cool occasions about that. Like, my friend's ex-husband passed away, and like, he woke me up at night. I really need to talk to Denise. She's at this show, and she's in Atlantic City, call her now. And I'm like, oh my God. And he said he wouldn't leave, and I had to call her. I'm like, he says you're at some show. Yes. And I had to give her the message. I had my friend's dog wake me up. That's when I thought he was really nuts. I'm like, this is not you, Sandow. And he's like, yes, tell my mom I can't figure out the puzzle. I call her. I'm like, Sandow, and he can't figure out the puzzle. Apparently there was some Rubik's Cube that you put a treat in. He couldn't figure it out. So I'm like, yeah, so spirits that, know me wake me up at night, and they think it's cool, and they can do it, and they can wake me up. But most of the time now I sleep through the night. But I was scared for years, again, till I went to college. And I went to college, and I'm like, holy shit, I am not going to be able to sleep alone because I'm scared to death. And I just remember as soon as I moved to college, I'm like, I have to have my boyfriend live with me because I can't live alone. I won't be able to sleep. There's no way. But now, for years now, I've been able to sleep. But for a long time, I couldn't sleep alone at all. So anyway, I am, like I said, this is a new platform for me, and there is a chat. I really don't know how this works exactly. I can't see it on my end, but I'm going to bring Shay on, and Shay and I are going to talk about some of the things I talked about. She knows how to work this chat if there's anyone in there. I don't know. So I want to bring Shay on. You all know Shay, I'm sure, and I've been on her show before I've done this. So I'm going to ask Shay to come on, and just let me know, Shay, when you're on this line with me. And we're going to talk and go through this chat that I'm not sure how this works, but if anyone's out there and they know how this chat works, feel free to leave any chat messages in here because Shay, again, knows how to work it and I don't. So are you on here yet, Shay? No, she's not on here yet. Okay. Oh, here she comes.
Hello. How you doing?
Hello. Hi. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, anyone that doesn't know Shay, who are just my people that haven't been there, just welcome Shay. This is her radio platform, and she is my new producer on this, and I'm very excited to be here. And again, this is a chat, so you guys don't know yet. You got to go to that link, and you can actually. Shay, can you explain this chat a little better to me, because you probably know how this works?
If it depends on if they're listening on the computer or if they're listening on the phone. But the first step is once the show goes live, that creates a new link. You can get to the show, but it's not actually there until we go live. Once we go live, you can click on the new show, which there's a big red box next to it that says live, and then you click on the chat, and you can get into chat. If you're using your phone, it's a free app from Spreaker. It takes 2 seconds to create a profile, and you don't even need to put your real name or your picture, or you can hook it up through Facebook, whichever you prefer. It's once you learn it, it's pretty easy.
Okay. Well,
if any listeners have trouble getting into the chat, feel free to message Paranormal Buzz Radio on Facebook, and we can walk you through it.
Okay, and thanks, Shay. And Shay, you're on the line right now. I know what I just realized I forgot, so if you don't mind, just hang in there with me. I forgot to, I promised everyone to do a universal message. I forgot. So I'm just going to add this in right now so all you guys know. You kind of like this from my show, and I do this on my Instagram. I talked about psychic mediums, and I talked about card readers. Now, everyone knows I don't use the cards. I don't use them when I do, because I'm mostly in mediumship channel. However, I did start reading cards. I started actually reading playing cards. That's when I started, and looking at pictures. And I just thought I could look at a picture and I could help people. And that I don't know, I was a kid, and I started playing with cards and Ouija boards. So when I do my universal messages, I do the cards because, hey, I like the pictures too. And the pictures help people, and people get excited when they do them. So when I actually do these universal messages, I do use the Rider-Waite deck, and I throw some messages out when spirit hits me, or my friend Joanna's like, hey, can you put a universal message out? And I do it. So I started doing it on the show or after the show, and people are like, oh, that's so cool, and they really like it. So I have my Rider-Waite deck now, and I shuffle it, and I'm going to just pull some cards for everyone. Now, what I like to tell people that in this message, if this message resonates with you, it doesn't even have to be the whole message, part of the message, and you're like, oh my God, that's so me. If you feel that's your intuition, or it's your guide pushing you and saying, hey, this message is for you, then the message for you. And then sometimes, and I remember we played this in March, Manifest March, on my Instagram, and I said, okay, so ask if this message is for you. I would do this new elephant deck I had, and if there was a seagull, I said, now if this message is for you, then you're going to see a seagull, and people would start messaging me, oh my God, I saw a seagull in the store, I saw this, validation. And it was really cool, and it started out what I was doing on Manifestation March. And just for all my listeners out there, Manifestation March, I picked 3 manifestations to come to light for myself, 3. All 3 came through for March. It was just friggin' amazing. 3 huge ones, too. 3 huge ones, and they all came through. It was a lot of fun playing that. So, all right, I'm going to give this message. I'm shuffling my cards right now. I usually flip 5 cards. I actually like that number 5. It's one of my favorite numbers. Sometimes I do more, but let's just see. I'm flipping the cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so and then I kind of channel the message. I go into channel, talk to the council, and they give it. So this message is for whoever this resonates with, okay? So just take a minute and listen. So everything... There is something that you've been working on, something that is going to really fulfill your life. It's a project. It's something that you've been thinking about, you've been dreaming about. This is something that you really wanted to come to light. You're holding it in your hand. It's the whole idea. Everything's formulated. Everything you want, you've already manifested it. You've already brought it down. It's coming right there. It's coming into light. It's just almost ready to show itself to you, but it's already formed, and there's no way, there's no free will, there's no energy that's going to mess this one up. This is coming to light for you. You will be balancing 2 things still. I don't know if this is 2 different homes or possibly 2 different relationships, but you're still trying to balance 2 things. Again, think this is, you're trying to balance like two worlds for some reason. So again, that's either two different living places or two different relationships. You're trying to balance that. But you're going to come out of that and you're going to just have one. You're going to work with just one. You're going to stake your ground. You're going to be grounded and very happy in the choice that you have made. It's almost like you've been going undercover, doing a lot of meditation, doing a lot of thinking, doing a lot of inner work to get to this decision. And this decision is finally coming to light for you, and you are going to stay grounded in that one, and you won't be balancing two anymore. You're going to have a lot more wealth. There's a lot more finances that's coming to you. Like your cup is finally getting filled. You're getting your wishes. It's all coming to light. And guess what? That relationship that you wanted, that person, that strong person, that partner, that team person that you wanted, it's already in your energy field. So when I tell you it's already in your energy field, that means it's there. It hasn't shown itself yet, but when it's already there, it's going to show itself. It's just right there. So that could be a matter of days, weeks, whatever, but it's already there. So that relationship you wanted, again, the partner, the teammate, that commitment, that bond, it's there. So it's already coming to light for you. So I hope you guys liked your universal message. It's been a while, and so that's it. And again, if it resonates with you, that one is for you. Okay. All right. So, Shay, I am kind of looking here at Spreaker. I don't see anything in chat right now. So maybe if you have any questions about anything that maybe you think your audience, my audience, might want to know, we can talk about it.
I'm playing volume. Sorry. When I know you talked about the council tonight. When did you discover the council, or is it something you always had and you just came up with the name? Like they told you the name, but when did that happen?
Okay, it's a really cool question, man. Well, I never knew I was channeling, quote unquote, the council for sure. Again, I was just playing with my gifts, really didn't even know and understand them. I just thought I knew things. And probably it wasn't too long ago. It was probably right before this, like maybe 2-3 years ago, not even, maybe 2 years ago, I started, when I wanted to do a show, I wanted to manifest a radio show, actually. And I started writing things down and saying what it is I want to do and meditating. And I'm like, I didn't even know that there was a possibility of, this or nothing. I just said, I want to do a radio show. That's what I want to do, a radio show. No idea what a radio show, how I could do it, how it would ever happen. I want to do a radio show. So I just started, kind of went, and I did a couple spiritual journeys. And it was right after my first spiritual journey, which was probably 2 years ago, about 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in September. Right after I did my first spiritual journey, that's when I was told what I'm supposed to be doing. And they pretty much guided me and said, listen, pretty much this is what you're supposed to be doing full time. And, that's when I heard I had to do a radio show. And I'm like, okay, I have to do a radio show. And I just started, listening more to my inner self, my higher self. And I was like, who am I talking to? Who is this? And they said they're the council. They call themselves the council. And I'm like, I was writing it down. I remember it. I was like, the council, the council. And I asked them all questions, who they were, the higher energy and what they do. And they're like the CEOs of heaven. They sit at the book. They run the biggest library in heaven, the Akashic Records. They're the keepers of the books of everyone's soul journey. They hold the books. Nobody can get by them. Not every soul can see into the book. Not every higher soul, not every energy. These are high energy people. They are the council. They sit at the highest part, one of the highest parts of heaven, under the archangels, of course, I believe in God, whatever. This is my system. Again, whoever your energy is, my energy is God. My energy is God. My energy is the St. Jude, St. Anna, St. Teresa. Those are right under God. Right under them, I have the archangels. Right under the archangels, I have angels. Right under the angels, I have highest spirit guides. Now, the council comes in right under the archangels before the regular angels. That's where they sit. They're just a higher energy. Like, can anyone become the council? Do people move? This is an energy that sits there. Some of those council members want to, just like a regular board, they want to leave, they want to move around, they want to do a different job, and then that opens up for another soul to move up into that place. But again, that's like a CEO. That's the highest level you want to be. We come here to elevate our soul. We come here to earth to elevate our soul because we want to keep moving up on that soul's journey. Again, like I said, some people are fillers, like, they're there. And then some people I call like low-level souls. And even when I have conversations with people, I'll just be like, oh, this is like, oh, God, I'm talking to a filler. Like, oh, I love you and all. You need to serve a purpose. But, I can tell what level the soul is on. And usually when I get a client, and I always say this to my clients, like, even though I still work in this one store here in New York, just one day a week, I'll get people that come in and they'll just be like, hey, am I going to marry this, and this? And they're just like regular people, regular souls. But most of my clients, all my clients that I work with, they are advanced souls. And I tell them, anybody that comes to sit across from me from a reading, you are a higher level soul. You're at a different level, because no one would come sit across from me and become my client unless you're on that type of journey. And that's, to elevate your soul. And that's why we want to keep coming here, because, hey, this is no joke, man. This is no joke down here on earth. Ha, 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 ha. We don't come here for fun. We come here to learn. And some people do. You see these people, these blessed people. They just have everything. They got money. They're rich. They're gorgeous. They can do everything they want. Let's go to Kardashians, for instance, But they're still going through their lessons. They're getting cheated on, or, they got some shit they're going through. They're actually not low-level souls, any of them. They're more higher level. But, we all choose our battles, what we want to learn, what we want to elevate ourselves, what we want to help people, depending, again, where our soul is in this journey. So, again, let me go back to 2 years ago when I first did my first spiritual journey. That's when I was told and really opened up to a whole new world. And I've done several since. And it just keeps showing me a different way. It keeps bringing me to a place. And now I can bring myself there. And I talk to my higher self, and I can talk to other people's higher selves, even if I'm doing a reading with someone. And I'm like, well, I actually talk to their higher self. I talk to people, and they're like, well, my mom's still alive. But I am talking to her higher self. She doesn't have to be dead. I am a medium. I talk to your mom's alive, but I'm talking to her higher self. Your mom's in Kansas. I'm in New York City talking to your mom's higher self. She doesn't have to be dead. And so it's just the crazy world in the spirit world, and how you're able to communicate the different spirits and souls. But, yeah, so that's how I met the council. And guess what? Know what else is funny about the council? And everyone who knows me knows this. Like, I am computer freaking illiterate. Everyone's like, oh, you post on Instagram this, and this, and did you see that? And unless you know me, like, I didn't see your post. I don't know how to check that post. I really barely know how to see it. And if I did see it, I missed it, or I didn't pay attention. I'm the worst when it comes to anything like that, really. And even I reluctantly got to Facebook because I was in college and all my friends were having study groups on Facebook. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm missing everything. I got to get on this Facebook thing. And then I rode the wave for a while. Now I'm not really on Facebook so much. I'm kind of bigger on Instagram. And again, I like Instagram because I'm visual. I like to post the pictures. I like to look at the pictures. I don't read the caption too much. And that's where it's at. But when I was told with the council, I just started reading a book. People were like, you have to read books. So I got this book from Sophia Brown, I think her name is. And don't you know, in that book, she said that she talked to the council. And I couldn't even believe it. The council is who she channeled or something, I think. I can't remember exactly. But she definitely talked to the council. And I was like, that's freaking unbelievable. And it kind of was like a super cool validation for me, because she was like, a popular medium, Sylvia Brown, who I'm pretty sure she's passed right now. But she was on, I think, one of these talk shows all the time, like Montel, I think. But yeah, so her book actually validated and said she talked to the council, which is super crazy weird. So So that's where that came from, that counsel. Yeah. That was like really cool for me when I picked up her book and I read that. I was like, that's insane. It was just validation, and nothing like validation for me. I need validation because I spent I have a doctorate degree. I spent 10 and a half years studying science and doing research and proving statistics and, writing dissertations on statistics on why it's true. And as an occupational therapist, sensory integration theory, or MOHO, the model of human organization, is the theories that I use. Now, sensory integration theory and MOHO are two theories that were never proven in statistics. They couldn't be. Just like autism, we don't know the reason. But you can't prove it. Where you could prove, there was a lot of testing and occupational therapy and theories that did have science and research behind it. But the two theories that I wrote all my papers on were MOHO and sensory integration, which can't be proven through research. There's no way. But I'm one of those people, I like it to be proven. I like to be proven. So even as a medium, I want to be validated. I want to know. I want to know that I am not insane. I am insane. Well, I'm insane. But I want to know,
reasons.
Yeah, for different reasons. Yeah, I want to know, I want to know some validation here because it's just, I don't, especially again in New York City where there's a psychic on every corner and, it's just, there's a bad rap for people wherever it goes. And I don't even use psychic medium like that anymore. I'm more of a life guidance counselor who does deal with spirit. It's just, and again, I can do the psychic channel, but I'd like to know that I'm doing something right. That's why I love my messages on Instagram, you guys. I love when I get validation. I love when you guys are like, thank you so much. I like the criticism, too, when you're like, I don't know about this, because then I'm going to look deeper. I'm going to look and see maybe I was off, because I can't say I'm not off sometimes, because sometimes my human brain gets in the way, and I want, it's hard to stay in that channel and break it, especially if someone's crying and like, oh, he's really cheating on me. I'm like, oh, no, he's not. My human brain comes in. That happens sometimes. You can't help it. As much as, I have to say, I have a high percentage of that not happening, but I can't say I'm perfect, man. I can't, Just like doctors, they take off the wrong leg sometimes. They don't want to. It's even marked and they take off the wrong leg. You can't be perfect. You just want to be as accurate as you can, and I want to be as accurate as I can, and I want to have as much validation as I can, and that will bug me if I don't, or I want to strive to, even my lifestyle, I try to stay high on that emotional scale, and I vibrate it so low at times that now I need to make sure that the people I'm with, the people I surround myself with, the relationships, the guys that I'm with, or the friends I'm with, or the family, that they too have that good energy, because that comes to me. Anything I put in my body, I eat really clean, I work out, I meditate, I do saunas, I do self-care. I continuously take care of myself so that I can be a good channel. I don't really, party. I can't say I don't drink once in a while or indulge in things, but I try to keep it at a minimum or once in a while so I can be a clear channel. I don't want to be off for my clients. I have a responsibility. So that's why I try to live the best, that I can, and try to always be that much better for what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do in this world, and it would be a disservice to my soul, my journey, and the people I deal with. So if I'm wrong or I'm not good, I'm not 100%, even if I do a lot of phone readings, and I'm very, people don't know if they want a phone reading. My phone readings are just as good as in person, because I'm not sitting here like some of these psychic talk lines, you hear people saying, well, I know she was doing the dishes or something. I am in channel, sitting in the same chair, channeling. I'm not doing anything else. No, I'm in it. I'm invested in that half an hour or hour, whatever it is, with my client, because that's what, I'm supposed to do. And that's what I love to do. I love talking to dead people. I love it. I just love hanging out and doing galleries with a bunch of dead people. It's just nothing better for me.
Okay, so two quick things. Well, one quick thing. Matt, the co-owner, is down in the chat. He has to run. He said, "Good night, great show, and welcome to the PBR family."
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I was so happy to be here. Shay adopted all of us from Girls versus Ghost Radio and gave us this amazing opportunity. And just really thank you. Thank both of you and Matt, the co-owner, and for bringing me on because, again, Charlotte took a huge chance on me. I was like nobody. Like everyone else is very established in this world, and I am the new one. So thank you.
Well, I think you're great. Matt thinks you're great, so we are happy to have you.
Well,
and we do
thank
have
you.
one last question.
Okay.
Jen M is in the chat, and she asks, and she also said earlier that you were doing great tonight.
Thank you, Jen.
She says, question, what are your feelings about people pretending to have psychic abilities and giving readings? Do you think they're completely making things up, or is it possible that they have a little truth to it?
Okay, so here's the thing. There's some nuts out there that actually believe they're psychics. So I can't say that they're trying to shiest you over. They actually believe they're psychics, you know. There are people down, and I've met them, that are just completely delusional, and they believe that they're psychics. So there are them, and there are people who really want to do it, like who believe they have intuition, and they believe that, you know, they're helping people, and they have such good intentions. They really want to try. So, you know, I can't say everyone's bad because there are people who, again, have mental problems and believe that they are, and there are the people that really, you know, have some intuition, but they just, it takes so much to be a psychic and medium. It's a lot of work to distinguish where this message is coming from, where the spirit's saying, you know, and being able to interpret it in a way. And I've had amazing people come through the school I've worked at. I've had a lot of readings too. You know, for research. But anyway, I've had readings, and plus I love reading. And I've had people give me a reading, but unfortunately, their cognitive level is so low, even though they're so gifted, they're not able to deliver the message in a comprehensible way. Like, they're gifted. I clearly know they're gifted. I clearly know they're picking things up. But
is that something
because
that they
they're
can learn how to do?
Well, see, some people who are clearly gifted have poor cognition. They're not smart. They don't know how to deliver the message. Delivery of the message on a level of the client's understanding is huge. Not only do you have to have, you know, a lot of things, I believe to give a good reading you have to have a lot of things, but the delivery of the message, which I did, you know, there is teaching of that to people, because if you do have talent, the delivery of the message is important, and you can teach someone that. You cannot teach people talent. You can't teach someone to be a medium. You can't. People are like, you can learn to be a medium. You really can't learn to be a medium because you're either open to that channel or you're not. You're not going to learn to be a medium. You have to have it. Just like you're not going to learn to be a famous basketball player. You can learn to play the game, and you can be decent at it, but you're not going to, you can't learn that. But can you teach somebody how to pick up on intuition? Yes. Can you teach somebody how to deliver the message that actually is gifted? Yes. So there are teachable people. Yes. But there are people that just no matter what, you're not going to be able to teach them. So it's different. You know, you gotta see everyone's different and see where they're coming from. But everyone has intuition, yeah.
I get that.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So we have about 2 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell anybody about any events you have coming up or where you'll be?
Yes. I love, you know, I did talk about this at the beginning, but I have met the guys from Detroit Paranormal and the one girl, and they're super amazing. Like, I love these guys, and I'm so excited that I'm going to do this event with Ken. And Ken Boswell is, I'm sure most of the people listening know him. He is, like, amazing. So he's also going to be at this event. We're doing it with Weird Weekends, who are our manager for this, and it's July 20th. You can find out all this information on my Instagram, and It is going to be at the Eloise Psychiatric Hospital, and me and Ken are doing like a gallery-style reading. I'm not exactly sure how it's going yet. I don't know, but I know that we are doing some kind of reading. I do know that there's also an investigation there, and I did one half of an investigation, and I'm so excited for that. And these are like a group of people who are very expert at investigating, so it's going to be really cool.
Detroit Paranormal Expeditions, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And we've shared
that's
it to
coming up.
Paranormal Buzz Radio page too, and I will share that again tonight.
Thank
so
you.
Everybody knows where to find it. So.
Yeah, and that's and then now we'll be doing this show every other Monday at the same time, 9 o'clock. And I have a huge announcement coming up, which I haven't announced yet, but I will be announcing it by the end of July. Some things I'm doing
Awesome.
that I'm not saying yet, but I have a huge thing coming up, and it's from Manifestation March, and I'll be telling you guys about it shortly.
Awesome.
So that's it.
Do I get
thank
to
you,
know
everyone.
beforehand?
Yeah, when we hang up, I'll tell you.
Yay. I'm so special.
Yeah, because, you just like, this is super cool. Again, I've manifested 3 things from Manifestation March. 3 things that were huge, and, they all came true. I love, manifesting is such a fun game for me. It's so much fun. But you got to be high on the emotional scale to manifest, guys. So look up that emotional scale and make sure you vibe high on it. Not saying that I always do, because, hell, I fall short often. But the higher you are, the more your manifestations are coming true.
Aww.
So thank you, Shay. Thank you so much. It was awesome. I'm always nervous coming back on. And Charlotte will tell you, I'm always nervous. Even Shay knows before the show, I'm nervous before I talk. Is Spirit going to come through? Are they going to give me the information to talk about? Because, again, even when I'm doing these shows, I'm going through my psychic channel. I'm going through my mediumship channel. And I'm Dr. Gina with my degrees. And I'm regular Gina, the nut, the screw-up, fucking failing my test. You get it all in the show. And I never know what's going to happen, really. I don't have anything scripted. I'm just here.
You're a psychic medium, but you're also human.
Yes, I am so human. I'm human, and I have no ego, really. My ego is so, whatever. I screw up. I look like shit. Sometimes I mess up. I fall down. I do a lot of stupid shit, and that's it. That's life.
Don't ever change. Don't ever change.
Well, thank you, and I'm looking forward to coming back in another 2 weeks. Not sure of the topic yet, but we'll be announcing it, and see how it goes.
Yay. Okay, guys.
Thanks.
Go ahead. Say good night. It's your show.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm pretty sure you can listen to this on pre-recorded, and that'll be up as well.
Yes, it will be.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Thank you for listening, and for all things Paranormal Buzz Radio related, check out our website at paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.